I mean, this election is really about a clear choice. You can pick from somebody who has been in Congress for 20 years and hasn't drawn a private sector paycheck, doesn't, and based on what they've done, doesn't know what a private sector job is that's based on a sustainable growth. On the other hand, you can pick somebody that's been not only a leader in small business, but also in large business, and I've been a leader in the not-for-profit world too. And so you've got to pick from somebody that's long-term government person, long-term private sector person, somebody who knows what it means to meet a payroll, to balance a budget, that knows what it means when you borrow money that you have to repay that debt back. And also in my career, one of the things that's topical now is I've purchased more private sector healthcare insurance than Chet Edwards has by a long shot. So I know what it means when you take something like Obamacare and you impose it on the American people and also on American business, what that's going to do to us. And that's what the people of Johnson County need to think about. It's that clear distinction between. I come up with a concept that I call reconnecting Congress with the people. And there's 4 elements to it. Element number 1 is term limits. Let's go back to what the Founding Fathers envisioned, and that is you take your expertise as a merchant or a farmer or a blacksmith. I'm going back to 1700s, of course. And you go to Washington and you serve for a while, and then you come back into your community and you live under the laws you wrote and you live next to the people that you represented. We need to have term limits so we can go back to that. The second element is to make Congress feel the pain that we as Americans feel here in the real world when we sit around our kitchen tables and are paying our bills or talking about, our spouse losing a job or not being able to work enough overtime, to connect with those. And so the parts of that element include, if Congress can't pass a budget, then Congress ought to take a pay cut. If Congress, if the unemployment rate goes above a certain level, that means that Congress is not paying enough attention to the private sector. And if unemployment goes above a certain level, then Congress ought to take a pay cut. And then the next piece of that is, if Social Security recipients don't get a COLA increase, then Congress shouldn't get a pay raise. Now, that's not intended to punish Congress. What that's intended to do is reconnect them with what we feel in the real world when we sit around the kitchen table with our family. That's what it's intended to do, so that they feel much more intensely how every action or inaction in the case of this Congress is affecting what's happening to us. And then the next element to that is they ought to live under every law and program they pass. For instance, now that Obamacare is passed, everybody in the federal government except the military ought to be under Obamacare. Everybody in Congress, everybody in the executive branch, every bureaucrat ought to be on Obamacare. There should be no congressional pension system. They ought to have Social Security and a 401k plan just like those of us in the real world have. And the last thing is to try to come up with a culture of servant leadership. The folks in Congress need to realize they work for us. We put them there. They put their pants on the same way that we do. And I've told many groups, if I'm elected to Congress, don't call me Congressman, call me Bill, because I work for you because you're the people that put me there.